Hey, what's up everybody? This is Law here to bring you another Injustice 2 video. This one all about baby girl herself, Starfire. Super excited right now. Been waiting for this character to come out since I heard she was going to be in the game. I have every intention of making her one of my mains, if not my main character. So without too much intro, let's get right into it, starting with her normal attacks. So her standing one is a 8-frame high with decent range on it. Not the best jab in the game, but definitely not the worst. Can definitely be used to check some opponents if you think they're going to press some buttons when you're not at proper advantage. Her back one is a 16-frame low, so I feel like in this game, at the rate people mash, this will get mashed out of a lot on startup, and it doesn't seem to combo into her main launcher, but it does combo into back launches. So that could definitely be a good use for this, and it's always nice to have a low to check your opponents with, especially on wake up and things like that. Now to her down one, which is a fantastic poke. This thing is 6 frames with very good range because she leans forward a little bit and pretty much extends her arm all the way out. It kind of reminds me of Scarecrow's down one, but maybe not as insane, but very good down one, 6 frames, -3 on block, +10 on hit. Good stuff, very good. Her standing 2 is her fastest mid outside of her down one. It has not great range, but maybe one of her main punishers because of the string 2-3, but we'll get into that a bit later. Her forward 2 is where things start to get kind of crazy. The range on this move is pretty absurd. It's rivaling that of Black Adam's. It's not as fast, but I honestly think it has a little bit more range. Haven't really tested it yet, and I might be crazy, but that's just how I feel about it right now. So this will be great because her float speed is really slow. So if you see anything whiffed in front of you, you'll be able to quickly stop your movement, stay in range, and be able to give them a swift jab to the jawbone. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that'll be a really good whiff punisher. Her back 2 is where things get more interesting. A little flashy looking move here. This move by itself doesn't seem to have like the best of, I guess it does combo, but it's probably not something you want to be throwing out on the ground because it's a double hitting high. But if you get your opponent jumping, this becomes one of the best anti-air moves in the game, and you can even, my timing's right, one more, catch it back 3 off of that for a full combo of over 422 damage, which I think is insane. But we're gonna keep moving. Stop jumping, just stand there. Okay, good. Her down 2 seems to be pretty interesting. It looks like it has okay range, but I'm not sure about its vertical hitbox, so I don't know how great of an anti-air it would be, but it does look like it brings her hurt box really low to the ground, so you may be able to catch some jump-ins before they catch you, I guess. Her standing 3, a 15-frame mid with okay range. I found a couple of really good uses for this move that I'll get into later. Her back 3 is fantastic. It's her back 3, it launches, wall bounces. But the range again is just, it's kind of stupid. Like, what neutral? You can meter burn back 3 from well beyond start of the round range. Catch somebody for a full combo. So I think that's really good. And another good thing I found about that move is that on block, the move is +5. So you can throw this out, and then you can follow it up with, stop. You can throw this out, and you are at the perfect range to follow that up with a standing 2, which is an 11-frame mid, as we went over earlier. So do the math, +5, 11-frame startup. This becomes the equivalent of the best poke in the game because it becomes a 6-frame mid, and it gets into one of her probably her easiest hit confirmable string, which is the standing 2-3. We'll get more into that later. Her forward 3, again, where things are kind of stupid. This thing is overhead, And it has insane range, but it looks like it's just painting your toenails. I don't know how you would never react to this as an overhead if you saw it, but you know, sometimes things just work that way. +7 on block, but as you can see, the pushback doesn't really guarantee anything to follow up with. I guess if you're close enough, it'll make this like 10 frames instead of 11 or whatever it is, but it's still a high, so it's not guaranteed. Her sweep, also really good range, nearly hits from start of the round, but she also has a secret sweep that's the down forward 3, and this thing has a Gorilla Grodd secret sweep range, man. It's kind of insane. Her jumping attacks, jump 1 is pretty good. None of her jumping attacks are all that fast. This is her fastest one at 7 frames. But it looks like it'll be good if you got your read on somebody trying to jump in, do a jump in attack on you. I feel like she has better anti-air options, as I showed earlier, which was this guy too, but you know, jump in 1 nonetheless. Her jump in 2 is this little kick here. Looks like it's okay. The hitbox on it is kind of crazy looking. Well, not the hitbox, but the angle she hits you out with it is pretty crazy, because it looks like she's almost directly on top of your head when this kick comes out. And it does have a slight cross-up property, as you can see when she jumps, her back foot kind of excuse me, kind of bends back. And if you're at the right range, that will actually cross up, as you can see there. But you won't be crossing up with that probably with this character. She's all about her jump 3. This thing is, what the hell? That's all I can say about this move. Okay, so you have a couple different options with it, but this is how I was able to break it down and understand it. So if I jump and press 3 and hold up, so if I hold up and jump 3, the beam swings from backward to forward, as you can see there. But if I hold it and if I jump and then press down in 3, it swings forward to backwards. I thought this was going to give her some crazy ambiguous cross-up properties, but as you can see here, that crosses up and this crosses up all the same. So I'm guessing this doesn't matter where you're getting hit by this beam. It just matters about where her positioning is according to the player. But of course, that can leave it for if you do cross people up quite a bit, you know, a good neutral jump with the same jump 3 normal will probably still catch your opponent thinking you're going to cross up, and then no cross up comes, so you open them up that way. So definitely a decent mind game to be played there. Her throw animation, pretty cool. I picked the purple Firestorm because purple is my favorite color. So I think she looks awesome right now. I don't have any gear unlocked for her. I haven't played a game with her. But I'm just wanted to get in here real quick and show you guys what I thought about her off initial reaction. Looking at her strings, what do I want to do? Take them off block mode. Okay. So if I take them off block mode, her 1-1, pretty good. Starts with her 8 frame high, and then follows up with this pretty decently ranged mid. Come on. Probably another good whiff punishing tool. Outside of that, I don't see too much extended use for it. 1-1-3. This move is going to be very important for Starfire. She can do a lot off of this move. I'll get into that more later after I talk about the specials and the trait. Back 1-2 is a gapless double low, not cancelable, but still a good safe double low hitting string, only -5 on block. 2-1 is this crazy looking low. I wonder if it cancels into that. No, it does. Also doesn't combo into her launcher. I feel like none of her lows really combo into her launcher, which is not great, but she definitely has other ways to open people up, and I'll show you a bit of that later. But just again, a low hit string. You can go to 2-1-3 to keep it safe. This string does have a gap, however. That last hit, that kick can be backdashed. But it's a good way to keep it safe. And also this string launches in the corner. Let's see if I can show you that real quick. Try it one more time. Let me see if I can just get the down one after this. I'm trying to just mash it out because I don't really know the timing, but I did it earlier a couple times where I was able to get a down 1. and then I was able to cancel it into the hands like that, and it comboed for a decent chunk of damage, like over 200 damage. I'd have to work on that one more, but you can do it. 2-3, probably going to be one of her best punishing strings. Easily hit confirmable, and it does cancel into her main starter, which is the down one, down back 1 meter. 2-3-2. Same startup, adds an extra hit at the end, which is a mid. It looks like that's a hard knockdown, but it's really not. This could be good for getting characters away from you, because I feel like this is exactly the range where Starfire excels, being just outside of pretty much anyone's footsie range, but not too far where zoning can completely keep her out. Because I think she will struggle against some of the better zoners, and she's definitely going to have a hard time against some of the better rushdown characters in the game because of her slow startup on her normals outside of her down one. It's going to be hard for her to contest, for her to contest in a close quarters fight. Fort 2 grab. Similar to Aquaman's Fort 2 grab, just looks like it's a way to switch sides, take control of more of the screen, and keep your opponent more toward the corner, which is always utility. And then forward 2-2, quick overhead flip at the end of the forward 2. Will probably stuff pokes or any late reactions your opponent has, and it's good for a knockdown. Let's get into her specials. We have first we have Star Blast, a pretty fast traveling high projectile, pretty good. Can be meter burned, not from full screen. I thought those low looking blasts were gonna hit low, but don't worry, they're all mid, so there's nothing too cheeky there. This can also be done in the air, and it hits the same. But it doesn't do a lot of damage, as you can notice. Even if you hit with all 5 shots, it does about 50 damage. Stardust. I think this is going to be a really important move for her. I found some really interesting tech with this move so far. This is also her main launcher on meter burn. It turns into this orb. But before you meter burn it, you can decide the range at which this goes. So if you down back 1 close, it hits right in front of you. Regular down back 1 hits about middle screen. Down back 1 forward hits 3/4 screen, and down back 1 up hits full screen. The coolest thing about these projectiles is that anywhere after the mid screen Stardust, it's plus on block. So if I get you to block this from full screen, I'm now advantage, and I think it's pretty heavy advantage if it's full screen. Yeah, plus 13. So I get a guaranteed fireball after that. So you're gonna have to respect a lot of her options following a blocked Stardust. Moving on to her Tamaranian charge. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but seems like a pretty cool looking move. Looks like it'll be good for traveling a lot of distance. It'll probably punish some stuff that shouldn't be thrown out, that people are trying to checker with. Maybe like from the deep, like in this range, it may be able to punish. Good move, does good damage. Can be done in the air as well to anti-air, jumping opponents and things like that. Let's go into Burning Desire. This is her wake-up attack, and outside of a wake-up attack, there's probably not too many great uses for this, especially, well, not necessarily any that I found right now. It does hit from about start of the round range, but there's definitely faster normals that hit that same distance, so it's probably not that great to be just throwing out there. And it's only safe if you meter burn it. The meter burn hits overhead, good for a knockdown. And it's only -1 on block versus the non-meter burn being -13, which is fully punishable by everyone in the cast, so be careful throwing that out. Her shooting star move, this is her best combo ender I've seen so far. This is it, how it looks normally. Or you can meter burn it for a few extra hits of damage. And it's also great for anti-airing. So if somebody's in this range and they're trying to jump, you can do that. Or this even, you have options, but all around a solid move, and it's by far the coolest looking move in her set so far. She has great mobility, air dash. She can probably dash in about half screen, and because of the way her jump in 1 extends, she's gonna have really good range off this dash in to punish ill-timed, ill-placed projectiles. Let's go into her character power. Her Star Bolt. This move is freaking awesome. It's awesome. There's a lot she can do with this. She can cancel this off of any of her specials. So I can throw a fireball and cancel it immediately into trait. Or follow a fireball. I can do the Stardust and cancel it. I can do the anything. Fist and cancel it, hair and cancel it. That's not hair. This is hair. No, this is hair. Cancel. So it's pretty good for adding a bit of extra damage and maybe checking your opponent after you throw something after you throw out something unsafe to see if you can catch them pressing buttons really quick. And on meter burn, it's plus on block, but due to the pushback on it, you don't get really anything out of it. Even if you do the quick burst, they're so far away that there's not much you can guarantee a follow-up with, even if you do it like in their face. That's about all you can get out of that, but that's a high, so it's not guaranteed, so be careful about just throwing that out. Another thing I noticed about her trait is that the cooldown on it is pretty substantial. If you hold this down and use half the bar for an attack, I timed this. It takes about 12.5 seconds for that half of the trait bar to come back. So if you use the whole trait bar, you're out of trait for about 25 seconds. So you're probably going to want to use it sparingly to end combos and things like that, just so you don't leave yourself without options. Now I'll get into a couple of super basic combos that I learned with her after about only an hour in the lab. Custom, turn block mode off. So you can do things like this off her standing 2-3. You can go down back 1 meter burn. Oops, standing 2-3, down back 1 meter burn. Oh my goodness, standing 2-3, down back 1 meter burn. Why am I okay? Oh my goodness. There we go. So this is standing 2-3, down back 1 meter burn, into back 3, jump 3, 1-1-3, down back 3, and a little trait pop at the end for a bit of extra damage. Does 365 damage. Not bad, but not great. She definitely has better options, especially on stage with bounce cancels. She can get big damage meterlessly, for example. There we go. You can get 441 damage on Superman meterlessly with a background bounce, which I think is pretty good. Also, if you catch somebody with this ridiculously long range meter burn back 3, you can also get similar damage with the same combo, even more damage. 469 for not much work. That was just a meter burn back 3, jump 3, 1-1-3, down back 3, trait. Not hard combos, lots of damage. Her forward 3 is where it gets kind of funky, I would call it, but not too crazy. It's just that depending on the range you hit it on, the optimizations are different that I found so far. I'm not saying either way that these are the most optimal damage that anyone's ever going to find, but if you max range her forward 3, all you can get off of it is pretty much the forward 2 follow-up. And this is just the best combo ender I know so far, is the down back 3 into trait cancel. So you can just do this, and that, a good bit of damage. Or if you catch somebody in their face, like a meter burn 4-3, you can swag out and do a back 2, forward 2, into the same combo, and get a good bit of damage, about 421 damage off a meter burn 4-3. So those are pretty much the basics. I haven't spent too much time labbing combos, but I did want to get into some quick tech that I found using her 1-1-3 string, which is a hard knockdown, so that means your opponent cannot tech roll after the knockdown. So it leaves her with some setup opportunities. So if you end combos with this, what you can do, well, let me show you this first. So this is her main launcher, is this down back 1 meter burn, right? It's a slow traveling orb across the screen. So if you down back 1 meter burn and then trait, you can blow the orb up, and the hit radius on this move is insane. So you can blow this orb up, and if your opponent gets caught by that, it launches them. So I won't even take the credit for this tech. My friend Marionette showed me this. So if you end a combo with 1-1-3 orb trait, it also launches, and look at this damage off the same combo I was doing earlier. Let me try it one more time. 485 damage, and that's just off blowing the trait up after it's going behind your opponent. I found a way to get a bit more. You can 1-1-3, down back 1, standing 3, trait cancel. Oh wow, how did that not work? 113, down back 1 leader burn, standing 3 trade cancel, back 3, and then into this DMV type scenario. 540 damage from 1 bar off of a setup. That's pretty insane to me. That's Black Adam we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. So pretty crazy. And also, I did find some pretty interesting tech with this move on block. Doing this on block, you can test it out yourself. I don't have a sparring partner here with me to show you how this works exactly, but off of different strings, this cancel comes out faster or slower. So if I try to do this string into this cancel, there's a huge gap, and you can poke me before the dust cancel comes out. So that part, before that comes out, she can be poked out before that move even comes out. But if I do it at the end of 113, at worst, I'm gonna get a trade out of you. So if you try to poke that, you're gonna get traded with. And since my trade is that move, I think I'm plus 20 after that move connects. Down back 1 close. Plus 20 on hit advantage. And what it does is it spaces you out very nicely. So if you do this, and they try to poke you and they trade with that, it spaces you out nicely to follow up with some standing 3 pressure. So just kind of wanted to start that conversation about what this Stardust does exactly off of different strings, because it looks like it behaves very differently as of this point. And also, just a word of advice, I would play with her standing 3 a lot, because it looks like a lot of her strings put her in pretty good range to check you with this, whether you get hit or not. So that's definitely some tech I'm going to be looking into. This is just a beginner video. I've only had her in the lab for about an hour, so I'm sure people will have other tech videos that are also probably much more in-depth tech than I do here, but hopefully I'll be able to follow this video up with other like intermediate and advanced tutorials once I get to actually play the character in some rank matches, which I can hopefully bring you a video of that sometime this weekend. But yeah, that should just about wrap up this video. I just kind of wanted to show everybody what I've come up with after labbing Starfire for not very long. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it and pulled something useful out of it. And if you did, please like the video, leave a comment, subscribe if you liked it enough. As always, everyone, my name is Law, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks.